My name's Arthur, and I'm a photographer from Reno, Nevada. I've always chased weird places for my shots. Abandoned factories, ghost towns, you name it. But nothing prepared me for what I found last summer in the middle of the desert. It's been 6 months, and I still can't shake it. I need to tell someone, so here's what happened. I was driving out on Route 50, the loneliest road in America, looking for something to shoot. The sun was brutal, baking the sand until it shimmered. My old Jeep rattled along, and I was half lost in thought when I saw it. A house. Not a trailer or a shack, but a full-on wooden house, like something from an old western, sitting alone in the middle of nowhere. No roads led to it, no power lines, and strangest of all, no doors or windows. Just solid walls, weathered gray, with a faint glow leaking from the cracks. At dusk, I pulled over, my heart racing a little. This was the kind of find photographers dream of. I grabbed my camera and tripod, figuring I'd get some shots before the light faded. As I got closer, the air felt heavy, like a storm was coming, but the sky was clear. The house was bigger than it looked from the road, 2 stories with a sagging roof. I circled it, snapping photos, but the whole time I felt watched. Not by a person, more like the house itself was staring. Then I heard it, laughter. Kids' laughter, soft and playful, coming from inside. I froze. There was no way anyone could be in there. No doors, no windows. I pressed my ear to the wall. The wood was warm, too warm for the cooling desert night. The laughter stopped, replaced by a low hum, like a machine idling. My skin prickled. I told myself it was just my imagination, but I couldn't shake the urge to get closer. I came back the next day with tools, a crowbar, a flashlight, even a drill. I had to know what was inside. The house looked the same, but the glow was gone in the daylight. I picked a spot on the wall and started drilling. The wood was tough, like it was fighting me, but after 10 minutes, I made a small hole, maybe an inch wide. I shined my flashlight through. Inside was a room, lit by a soft, sourceless light. Toys were scattered on the floor, dolls, blocks, a rusted tricycle. But no kids, no people at all. Just that hum, louder now, vibrating in my chest. I should have left then. I know that now. But I kept drilling, widening the hole until I could stick my head through. The air inside was thick, sweet, like rotting fruit. I crawled in, my camera strapped to my chest. The room was bigger than it should have been, way bigger than the house looked from outside. The walls were covered in drawings, stick figures, houses, and weird symbols I didn't recognize. The hum was deafening, coming from everywhere and nowhere. Then the toys moved. Not a lot, just a twitch, a doll's head turning, the tricycle rolling an inch. My stomach dropped. I backed toward the hole, but it was gone. The wall was solid again, no trace of my drilling. Panic hit me like a truck. I banged on the wood, screaming, but it was like hitting steel. The hum turned into whispers, kids' voices, saying my name. Arthur, stay. Arthur, play. I don't know how long I was in there. Hours, maybe. I ran through the room, looking for a way out, but it just kept going, stretching into more rooms, all filled with toys and drawings. Some of the stick figures looked like me, same curly hair, same camera. My flashlight started flickering, and the whispers got louder, angrier. I felt something brush my neck, cold and soft, like a small hand. Finally, I found a ladder leading up. I climbed, my hands shaking so bad I almost fell. It led to a trapdoor in the ceiling. I pushed it open and crawled out onto the desert floor, right next to my Jeep. The house was gone. Just sand and sky like it never existed. I drove home, my heart pounding, promising myself I'd never go back. But it didn't end there. That night, I dreamed of the house. I was back in that room, surrounded by toys, the whispers louder than ever. The stick figures from the drawings were there, but they weren't drawings anymore. They were kids, pale and wrong, their eyes too big, their smiles too wide. They held out their hands, begging me to stay. I woke up screaming, my sheets soaked in sweat. The dreams kept coming, every night. I stopped sleeping, living on coffee and fear. Then I noticed the sand. I'd find it in my shoes, my pockets, even my bed. Fine, red desert sand, the kind from out on Route 50. I hadn't been back, I swear, but it was like the desert was following me. A week ago, things got worse. I was editing photos from that day, and in one shot, the house was different. There was a door, a black, iron door that hadn't been there when I took the picture. I zoomed in, my hands trembling. The door was open, and something was standing in it. Not a kid, not a person. It was tall, thin, with too many arms, its face a blur. I deleted the photo, but my computer crashed, and when it rebooted, the picture was back, front and center. Last night, I heard the laughter again, not in a dream outside my apartment. I live in the city, miles from any desert, but when I looked out my window, I saw sand piled up on the street, glowing faintly. The laughter was coming from it, soft and playful just like before. I locked my door, but the sand kept appearing, seeping under the frame, piling up in the corners. I'm writing this because I don't know what else to do. I'm scared to sleep, scared to leave my apartment. I keep thinking about that house, those kids, that thing in the doorway. I looked up the area on Route 50, thinking maybe there'd be records of a house, a family, something. Nothing. Just stories from truckers about a ghost house that shows up and vanishes. They say it picks people, marks them. If you get too close, it doesn't let you go. This morning, I found something new. My camera, the one I used that day, was on my kitchen table. I hadn't touched it in weeks. The memory card had one new photo timestamped last night. It's the house, clear as day, sitting in the desert. The iron door is wide open, and the sand around it is moving, like it's alive. I can't see what's inside, but I know it's waiting for me. I'm not crazy. I know how this sounds, but it's real. I can still hear the whispers sometimes, even now, telling me to come back. My hands are shaking as I type this, and there's sand on my desk, more than before. I don't know how much time I have left. If you're reading this, stay away from Route 50. Stay away from houses that shouldn't be there. And if you hear kids laughing where they don't belong, run. Don't look back. Don't be like me. My name's Mia, and I'm a bartender in a small town in Tennessee, right along the Cumberland River. I've lived here my whole life, and I thought I knew every inch of this place. But last fall, something happened on the old bridge outside town that I can't explain. It's been haunting me ever since, and I need to get it off my chest. Here's my story. It started in October, when the leaves were turning and the air got crisp. There's this rickety bridge a mile from my house, built back in the 1800s. It's been closed to cars for years, but kids still sneak out there to drink or dare each other to cross it at night. Locals call it the Whispering Bridge because of the way the wind hums through the rusted beams. I never thought much of it until I noticed the light. One night, I was walking home from the bar, cutting through the woods to save time. The bridge was up ahead, and I saw a glow, bright, like a street lamp, but steady, not flickering. That was weird because the power to the bridge was cut decades ago. I got closer, and there it was, a single street lamp on the bridge, burning like a spotlight. Under it stood a man, tall and still, staring down at the river. He wore a long coat, and his head was tilted, like he was listening to something. I called out, "Hey, you okay?" No answer. I took a step onto the bridge, the wood creaking under my boots. The air felt wrong, Cold, heavy, like stepping into a freezer. I called again, louder. Nothing. Then, in a blink, he was gone. No sound, no movement. Just an empty bridge, the lamp still glowing. My heart was pounding, but I told myself it was just my eyes playing tricks. I hurried home, locking the door behind me. The next night, I took the same route, half curious, half dreading what I'd see. The lamp was on again and the man was back, same spot, same pose. I didn't call out this time. I just watched, my breath fogging in the chilly air. The river below was black, moving slow, and I swear I heard a whisper. Not the wind, but a voice low and garbled, like someone talking underwater. I backed away, my skin crawling, and ran home. After that, I couldn't stay away. Every night I'd check the bridge. The lamp was always on, the man always there, staring at the river. I started asking around town. Old-timers said the bridge had a dark history. A man drowned there in the 50s, some kind of accident or worse. They didn't know details, just that folks used to see things out there, shadows or lights. My boss at the bar, Hank, told me to steer clear. That bridge don't like company, he said. I laughed it off, but I wasn't sleeping well. I kept hearing footsteps outside my house at night, slow and deliberate, like someone pacing. One night I got brave or stupid. I brought my phone and a flashlight, determined to get answers. The lamp was glowing, the man standing under it. I shouted, "Who are you?" My voice echoed, but he didn't move. I stepped onto the bridge, my flashlight beam shaking in my hand. The whispers started again, louder. A mix of voices now, all jumbled. I aimed my phone and snapped a picture. The flash lit up the bridge, and for a split second, I saw his face. Pale, with eyes like white marbles, no pupils. I screamed and dropped my flashlight. When I looked again, he was gone. I ran home, my heart hammering. I checked the photo on my phone. There he was, clear as day, standing under the lamp. But his face, those empty eyes stared right at me, like he knew I was looking. I deleted the photo, my hands shaking, but the next morning it was back in my gallery. I showed it to Hank, but he just shook his head. "You stirred something up, Mia. Leave it alone." I tried. I took a different route home, avoided the bridge for a week. But the footsteps outside my house got louder, closer. I'd wake up to find my front door unlocked, even after double-checking it. Then the whispers started inside, faint, like they were coming from the walls. I'd hear my name, over and over, in that same underwater voice. I was losing it, jumping at every shadow, barely eating. 2 weeks ago, I couldn't take it anymore. I went back to the bridge at midnight, carrying a crowbar from my garage. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I'd smash that damn lamp, break whatever hold it had. The bridge was quiet, the lamp glowing brighter than ever. The man was there, but this time he turned his head, slow, like he was waiting for me. Those white eyes locked on mine, and the whispers exploded into a roar. Words I couldn't understand but felt in my bones. I swung the crowbar at the lamp. The glass shattered, and the light went out, plunging the bridge into darkness. The air turned ice cold, and I felt something grab my arm. Not a hand, but pressure, like the river itself was pulling me. I yanked free and ran, my boots slipping on the wet wood. The whispers chased me, screaming now, and I heard footsteps behind me, heavy and fast. I didn't look back. I made it home, slammed the door, and pushed my couch against it. The footsteps stopped, but the whispers didn't. They were quieter, seeping through the windows, the floor. I stayed up all night, clutching the crowbar, too scared to move. At dawn, I checked my phone. The photo of the man was gone, but there was a new one, taken from the bridge, showing me swinging the crowbar. I didn't take that picture. No one else was there. Since then, things have gotten worse. The footsteps are back every night, circling my house. I find river water on my floor, puddles that don't dry. My mirrors fog up, and sometimes I see those white eyes staring back. I went to the library, dug through old newspapers. I found a story from 1953. A man named Thomas Reed drowned under the bridge. The article called it an accident, but a handwritten note in the margin said, "He wasn't alone." I don't know what that means, but I feel it. I'm not alone either. I'm writing this because I'm scared I won't make it much longer. The whispers are louder now, and they're not just saying my name. They're telling me to come back, to stand under the lamp. Last night, I saw the bridge from my bedroom window, even though it's a mile away. The lamp was glowing again, fixed like I never broke it. He was there waiting. I don't know what he wants, but I know he's not human. If you're in Tennessee, stay away from the Whispering Bridge. Don't walk it at night. Don't look at the light. And if you hear footsteps behind you, don't turn around. I made that mistake and now I can't escape. My name's Ethan, and I'm a radio technician in a small town in Montana, up in the mountains. I've always liked the quiet out here. Nothing but pines, snow, and stars. But last winter, something happened at the old radio station where I work that's got me scared out of my mind. I haven't told anyone because I don't want to sound crazy, but I can't keep it in anymore. Here's what went down. I work the night shift at KZMT, a little AM station that's been around since the 60s. It's perched on a ridge, miles from town. Just a tin-roofed shack with a tall antenna that hums in the wind. My job's simple. Keep the equipment running, play the scheduled music, and make sure the signal doesn't cut out. It's lonely, but I like it. Or I did until the radio started talking to me. It was late January, snow piling up outside. I was alone, sipping coffee, when the console lit up like Christmas. The broadcast cut off mid-song, and a low, crackling hum filled the speakers. Then I heard it. A voice, faint, whispering my name. Ethan, Ethan. I froze, my cup halfway to my mouth. The voice wasn't coming through the mic or the playlist. It was just there, like someone was in the room. I checked the equipment. Everything was normal, no signal interference, no nothing. I switched the broadcast back on, heart pounding, and told myself it was a glitch. But it happened again the next night. Same time, around 2 a.m. The music stopped, the hum started, and the voice came through clearer this time. Ethan, listen. I yanked the power cord, shutting everything down. The station went dead, but the voice kept going, echoing in the dark. I sat there, staring at the blank console, too freaked out to move. When I finally plugged it back in, the broadcast was fine, like nothing happened. I started dreading my shifts. I'd blast music on my phone to drown out the silence, but the whispers kept coming, every night. They weren't just saying my name anymore. They told stories about me, things I'd done, like the time I crashed my dad's truck in high school or the fight I had with my ex last year. Stuff nobody else knew. One night, the voice said, "Ethan, you're gonna hurt her." I don't have a girlfriend, but the way it said her made my stomach twist. I told my boss, Carl, about it. He's been at KZMT forever, knows every bolt in the place. He laughed, said it was probably old wiring picking up stray signals. Ghosts don't talk on AM, he joked. But he gave me a funny look, like he wasn't so sure. I checked the logs, the antenna, even the damn walls for hidden speakers. Nothing. The station was clean, but I wasn't sleeping. I'd lie awake, hearing that hum in my head, like it was stuck there. A week later, it got worse. The voice started predicting things. "Ethan, you'll fall tomorrow." Sure enough, I slipped on ice outside the station, nearly broke my ankle. Another night, it said, "You'll lose something." The next day, my keys vanished from my pocket. I tore my truck apart looking for them, but they were gone. The whispers were messing with me, and I was starting to crack. I brought a recorder to work, thinking I'd catch the voice, prove I wasn't losing it. That night, the radio went silent again, and the voice came through, loud and sharp. "Ethan, you won't leave this mountain." My hands shook as I hit record. The air in the station turned cold, like someone opened a window in a blizzard. I heard footsteps outside, crunching in the snow, circling the building. I grabbed a flashlight and looked out the window, but the snow was untouched. No tracks, nothing. The footsteps kept going, slow and heavy, right up to the door. I locked it, my heart hammering. The whispers turned into a laugh, low and mean, coming from the speakers and the walls. I shouted, "What do you want?" The laugh stopped, and the voice said, "You." The console sparked, and the lights flickered. I grabbed my recorder and ran to my truck, slipping in the snow. The engine wouldn't start. I sat there, freezing, listening to the footsteps get closer. Then silence. The truck roared to life, and I peeled out, not looking back. When I got home, I played the recording. It was just static. No voice, no laugh, nothing. I threw it across the room, cursing. The next day I called in sick, but Carl begged me to come in. "We can't lose the signal," he said. I didn't want to go, but I needed the job. That night, I brought a baseball bat, figuring I'd smash the console if it started again. I was done being scared. Around midnight, the whispers came back, but they weren't stories anymore. They were instructions. "Ethan, go to the antenna." I ignored it, cranking the music louder. The voice got angry, shouting my name so loud the speakers popped. The lights went out, and the door rattled, like something was trying to get in. I gripped the bat, my palms sweaty. The voice said, "You can't hide." I swung at the console, smashing the dials. Sparks flew, and the station went dark. But the voice didn't stop. It was outside now, in the wind, in the snow. I ran to the antenna, not knowing why, just wanting it to end. The tower loomed against the sky, humming louder than ever. At its base, I saw something. Marks in the snow, not footprints, but scratches like claws. The voice laughed again, and the antenna glowed, a sickly red light pulsing from the top. I swung the bat, hitting the metal. It rang like a bell, and the light flared, blinding me. I fell to my knees, the cold biting through my coat. The voice said, "You're mine now." I crawled back to the station, my vision blurry, and locked myself inside. The whispers were everywhere, inside my head, telling me I'd never leave. I don't know how I made it through the night, but when the sun came up, the station was quiet. The console was wrecked, but the antenna was still standing, like nothing happened. I quit the next day. Carl didn't ask why. I moved to town, thinking distance would help. Didn't. The whispers follow me. I hear them in my apartment, in my car, even in crowds. They're quieter, but they're there, saying my name, telling me to come back. Last week, I found scratches on my door, like the ones in the snow. My keys showed up on my kitchen table, covered in rust, like they'd been buried. I looked up the station's history. In the 70s, a technician died up there, electrocuted by the antenna. The article said it was an accident, but locals whispered about strange broadcasts before he died. Voices that weren't human. I don't know what's up on that mountain, but it's not just a glitch. It's alive and it knows me. I'm writing this because I'm scared I'm running out of time. The whispers are louder now, and last night, I saw the antenna's red light outside my window, even though I'm 20 miles away. I keep my bat by the bed, but I know it won't help. If you're ever in Montana, don't tune into KZMT. Don't go near that station. And if you hear your name on the radio, turn it off and run. I didn't, and now I'm trapped. My name's Lily, and I'm a camp counselor in northern Minnesota, where the lakes are as common as trees. I've spent every summer since I was a kid out in the woods, leading kids through canoe trips and campfire songs. I thought I knew the forest like the back of my hand, but last July, I found something that's got me questioning everything. It's been months, and I'm still scared to close my eyes. I need to tell someone what happened. It was a week-long camp, deep in the Boundary Waters. I was leading a group of 10 kids, ages 12 to 14, on a hiking trip. The air was thick with mosquito hums, and the sun was high, glinting off the lakes. We were a few miles from camp when I noticed a path I'd never seen before, narrow and overgrown, winding through the pines. The map didn't show it, but the kids were restless, so I figured we'd explore. That's when we found the lake. It was small, maybe 100 yards across, surrounded by dense trees. The water was black and still. Not a single ripple, even though a breeze rustled the leaves above. I tossed a pebble in, expecting a splash. It sank silently, like the lake swallowed it whole. The kids got quiet, which is rare for them. One girl, Sarah, whispered, "It's creepy." I laughed it off, said it was just a weird pond, but my skin was prickling. The air felt heavy, like before a storm, but the sky was clear. We didn't stay long. I herded the kids back to the main trail, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching us. That night, at camp, I dreamed I was standing at the lake's edge. The water was pulling at me, and under the surface, I saw shapes. People, pale and bloated, reaching up with bony hands. I woke up gasping, my sleeping bag soaked with sweat. The other counselors were snoring, and the campfire was just embers. I told myself it was just a nightmare. The next day, I couldn't stop thinking about the lake. I kept the kids busy with canoe races, but my eyes kept drifting to the woods. That night, the dream came back worse. I was underwater, surrounded by those pale figures. They grabbed my ankles, their fingers ice cold, whispering my name in a chorus of gurgles. I woke up screaming, waking half the camp. My co-counselor, Jake, asked what was wrong, but I brushed it off. I didn't want to scare the kids. When we got back to town, I thought it'd stop. Didn't. The dreams kept coming, every night, and they felt real, too real. I'd wake up with my throat raw, like I'd been holding my breath. Then weird stuff started happening at home. I'd turn on the faucet, and the water would flow upward for a second before going normal. My mirrors would fog up, even when I hadn't showered. One morning, I found a puddle on my kitchen floor, smelling like lake water, though I live in a second-floor apartment. I went to the library, looking for answers. Old records mentioned a dead lake in the Boundary Waters, tied to stories of missing hikers. A ranger's log from the 80s said they dragged the lake once, found nothing but mud. Locals called it cursed, said it keeps what it takes. I laughed it off at first, but I wasn't laughing when I found wet footprints on my carpet, small and bare, leading to my bed. 2 weeks ago, I couldn't take it anymore. I drove back to the Boundary Waters, alone, with a flashlight, a knife, and a rope, though I didn't know why. I had to face it, whatever it was. It was dusk when I found the path again, like it was waiting for me. The lake was there, still as death, reflecting the fading light. I shouted, "What do you want?" My voice didn't echo. It just died, swallowed by the water. I tied the rope to a tree and waded in, the knife in my hand. The water was freezing, thicker than it should be, clinging to my legs. I expected to hit the bottom, but it kept going, deeper and deeper. My flashlight flickered, showing glimpses of something below, pale shapes moving slow. My chest tightened, but I kept going, the rope my only way back. Then I saw them. Figures, dozens of them, floating just out of reach. Their eyes were open, milky and blind, their mouths moving like they were talking. One grabbed my wrist, its grip like a vice. I screamed, bubbles rushing up, and slashed with the knife. The blade cut through, and the figure dissolved into a cloud of silt. But more came, their hands clawing at me, pulling me down. I kicked, thrashing, my lungs burning. The rope went taut, and I pulled myself up, hand over hand, until I broke the surface, gasping. I crawled to shore, sobbing, my clothes heavy with water that smelled like decay. I cut the rope and ran, branches tearing at my face. The forest was alive with whispers, not human, coming from the ground, the trees, the air. I made it to my car and sped off, not stopping until I was back in town. My flashlight was gone, lost in the lake, but my knife was still in my hand, crusted with something black and sticky, like tar. Since then, it's gotten worse. The footprints are everywhere now, on my walls, my ceiling. My mirrors don't just fog. They show things, faces not mine, watching me. Last week, I woke up choking, my mouth full of lake water. I spat it out, but it left a taste I can't wash away. I don't sleep anymore. I sit up with the lights on, a baseball bat by my side, listening to the drip drip of water from nowhere. I called Jake, told him everything. He thinks I'm stressed, says I should see a doctor. But he wasn't there. He didn't see those things in the lake. I went back to the library, found an old journal from a trapper in the 1800s. He wrote about a lake that drinks the living, a place where the dead don't rest. He said it chooses people, marks them. I think it chose me. I'm writing this because I'm scared I'm running out of time. The whispers are louder now, calling me back. Last night, I saw the lake outside my window, right in the street, still and black, even though I'm miles from the woods. Those pale figures were there, standing at the edge, reaching out. I keep my knife under my pillow, but I know it won't help. The water's in my house now, seeping through the walls, pooling around my feet. If you're ever in the boundary waters, stick to the main trails. Don't follow paths that shouldn't be there. Don't touch the water if it doesn't move. And if you dream of drowning, don't go back. I did, and now I'm trapped, waiting for the lake to take me. My name's Noah, and I'm a hiker from Boulder, Colorado. I've been trekking the Rockies since I was a kid, always chasing the next trail, the next view. The woods are my home, or at least they were until last spring when I found something out there that's got me scared to step outside. I haven't told anyone because it sounds insane, but it's eating me up. I need to get this out. Here's what happened. It was April, and I was on a solo hike in Roosevelt National Forest, about an hour from town. The snow was melting, and the trails were muddy, but I didn't care. I was deep in, maybe 10 miles from the trailhead, when I saw it. A door. Not attached to a building, just a rusty iron door standing alone in a clearing, surrounded by pines. It looked old, like something from a junkyard, with dents and scratches all over it. No frame, no walls, just the door, standing upright like it grew out of the ground. I laughed at first, figured some artist or prankster hauled it out here for kicks. I walked around it, snapping pics with my phone. On one side, I saw the forest through the gaps. On the other, the same trees, same dirt. I knocked on it, solid, heavy, like it was bolted to something invisible. Then I opened it. The hinges screamed, and I peeked through. Just more woods, nothing weird. I stepped through, feeling a chill that wasn't from the spring air. The door slammed shut behind me, loud enough to make birds scatter. My heart jumped, but I was still on the same trail, same clearing. I shook it off and hiked back, thinking it was just a creepy find. That night, back in my apartment, I heard it. Knocking. Slow, deliberate, like someone was at my door. I live on the 3rd floor, and my building's got a buzzer system. No one gets in without a key. I checked the peephole. Nothing. The hall was empty, but the knocking kept going, 3 hard raps over and over. I yelled, "Who's there?" No answer. I grabbed a kitchen knife and opened the door. The hallway was dark, quiet. I locked up and tried to sleep, but the sound followed me into my dreams. In the dream, I was back at the door in the woods. I opened it, but this time the other side wasn't my forest. It was darker, the trees twisted, the air thick with fog. Someone was there, me but not me. He had my face, my clothes, but his eyes were wrong, too wide, and his skin was gray, like he hadn't seen the sun in years. He smiled, and I woke up, my sheets tangled, my heart racing. There were scratches on my arm, shallow but real, like I'd clawed myself. The knocking came every night after that. Always 3 raps, always at 2 a.m. I stopped sleeping, living on energy drinks and paranoia. I'd hear it even when I crashed at a friend's place. My buddy Mike thought I was stressed, said I should lay off the trails for a while. But I couldn't. I had to know what that door was. I went back to the forest a week later, armed with a flashlight, a crowbar, and my phone. The trail felt different, too quiet, like the woods were holding their breath. When I reached the clearing, the door was still there, but it looked bigger, the iron darker, the scratches deeper. I didn't open it right away. I circled it, my boots sinking in the mud. The air was heavy, like a storm was coming, but the sky was clear. I checked my phone, no signal, which was weird so deep in the park. I pried at the door with the crowbar, thinking I'd knock it down. End this. The metal groaned but didn't budge. Then I heard it, knocking from the other side. 3 slow raps. My blood ran cold. I backed up, gripping the crowbar, and shouted, "What are you?" The knocking stopped, and the door creaked open, just an inch.
Schuld veveram.
I know that now, but I looked through the gap. It wasn't the forest anymore. It was a street, my street, outside my apartment, but wrong. The buildings were crumbling, the sky red, like blood. My other self was there, standing under a street lamp, staring at me with that awful smile. I slammed the door shut, my hands shaking, and ran. The trail seemed longer going back, the trees closer, like they were leaning in. I didn't stop until I reached my truck, peeling out with mud flying. The knocking got worse after that. It wasn't just at night. It was all the time, loud enough to drown out the TV. My mirrors started acting weird. I'd catch glimpses of him, my double, standing behind me, gone when I turned. My phone filled with photos I didn't take. The door, the red sky, his face. I deleted them, but they'd reappear, always time-stamped with future dates. I was falling apart, jumping at every sound, barely eating. Last month, I went back. I had to end it. I brought a sledgehammer, a flashlight, and a gas can, thinking I'd burn the damn thing down. The forest was silent. No birds, no wind. The door was waiting, taller now, the iron pulsing with a faint glow. I swung the sledgehammer, aiming for the hinges. The metal screamed, and the ground shook, knocking me down. The door flew open, and a wind roared out, cold and sour, like decay. I saw him, my double, stepping through, his eyes locked on mine. He wasn't smiling anymore. I scrambled up, grabbing the gas can, and splashed it on the door. I lit a match, my hands trembling, and tossed it. Flames erupted, but they didn't touch the door. They curled around it, like it was protected. My double lunged, faster than he should have been. I swung the sledgehammer, catching his shoulder. He didn't flinch, just grabbed my arm, his grip like ice. "You opened it," he said, his voice mine but wrong, hollow. I kicked him, breaking free, and ran, the flames lighting up the trees. I don't know how I made it out. The forest was a maze, branches clawing at me, the ground soft like it wanted to swallow me. My truck was where I left it, and I drove until the gas light blinked, not looking back. The knocking stopped for a few days, and I thought maybe I'd won. Then it started again, louder, closer, like it's inside my walls now. My mirrors show him all the time, standing in my apartment, my car, even my dreams. The scratches on my arm are deeper, and sometimes I wake up with dirt under my nails like I've been digging. I looked up the area online. Old forums mentioned a ghost door in the Rockies, seen by miners in the 1800s. They said it led somewhere else, somewhere you don't come back from. One guy wrote, "It picks you. Don't open it." I wish I'd seen that before. I think he's coming for me, my double. He wants my place, my life. I'm writing this because I'm scared I'm out of time. The knocking's constant now, and last night, I saw the door outside my window, standing in the parking lot, glowing under the streetlights. He was there, waiting. I keep my sledgehammer by the bed. But I know it's not enough. If you're hiking in Roosevelt Forest, don't follow strange trails. Don't touch doors that don't belong. And if you hear knocking, don't answer. I did, and now he's almost here.